Hey everyone, it's Mana here. So this is pretty much day two of after the Idaho party launch, and I see a lot of players in Arena already decking out with these new heroes. So I'm just want to do a little bit of Arena showcase, and just to show everyone how it's like fighting against one of these new new OP heroes. So I do think that the new heroes are um, pretty broken. Well, not really that broken. Like that, you can kind of deal with it, but then if you really allow them to free cast, then things can go wrong really quickly. And you do realize like when you look through the rankings, a lot of like the top are filled with players that recently got the new heroes and they carried them to high ranks. So you can see some people with like subpar teams and they kind of climb the ranks just having the elk hero. So just to show the elk hero one more time here, probably better if I find it in arena so you can see the stats too, because part of what makes a hero good isn't just like the skill set, but also like stuff like cast speed, race, and stats. So in terms of stats, this is a +4 frame, so gold frame will be slightly higher, but this is about what you would expect. Defense, defense, 12k, 14k, HP at 140k. So let's compare that to something like M sort, for example, the last OP unit. So compare M sort, defense is a lot higher, HP is a lot higher, and let's see if that's true for some other heroes here. Let's see, Alfana. Yeah, looks like I'll have higher HP, higher defense, and slightly lower magic defense compared to O sort. Same story. You trade off a little bit of magic defense for a lot more defense and HP. And for idle voles, I think this is pretty unique um, for the Alcaro to be this beefy. And there's no apparent weaknesses either to resistance. So let's say you have some kind of hero that target a uh, specific element, right? So it's pretty strong. This is like a little bit over 100% on light and dark. On the fire and water, it seems to be about 90, 100 for earth. So it's not really weak to anything. And his skill pretty much comes off almost instantly. So arguably the best defense kit that I've seen so far. Attack magic attack shield is particularly strong because it bypasses barrier seal, which is prevalent in Osort. See if Omnisort have barrier seal. No, it doesn't. But units, if you go against team that runs Omnisort, you do see barrier seal. So, so barrier seal stops barriers from going up. But if it's a shield, then it doesn't really stop it. So that makes uh, that makes this particularly good at defense right now. And since they give this character this skill and then status ailment resistance 70% up, which is the highest in the game, and this is on a refresh. Plus grace that extends it even longer. Like you have to get rid of these grace stacks on all your heroes, and each time you get rid of a stack, then uh, this grace applies. Um, so I was thinking like, how do you deal with so many stacks of grace on all the heroes? And let's say he have some heroes that have some grace stacks available to block your CC, and then when it blocks it, it applies shield and status ailment resistant for 1 turn. Even though it's 1 turn, that's really good already. On top of that, probably a little bit overlooked is the ordering of the skills. So when the three highest M attack applies a status ailment resistant down and then applies a holy chain, this pretty much guarantees this holy chain to hit. And this skill comes super fast. Yeah, I mean everything about his kit is really good. And given that his back three allies skill gauge up is 20%, on the passive, if you put him in the last three slots, the way you kind of gear him is similar to how this guy gears his. And you have all four slot running some skill gauge up. So it's 10% here, 20% here, 20% here, and then 20% here. So base skill up is 60% already, plus his passive makes it 80. So if you have anything that's that skill gauge up another 20%, he can instant cast at the beginning of the game. So I find that to be particularly tough to deal with if you allow him to skill immediately, which puts him as good or probably even better than Moonfire's Sword. Moonfire's Sword, she was pretty devastating because of her opener, allowing her to use status ailment resistant down. And as you know, this kind of goes hand in hand with your status ailment up. So these take up different slots. So that's enough talking. Let's try out some of these teams. So this is my current default team. I'll show you my gear setup. So if you want to, if you have my heroes and you want to copy my team, you can go ahead and do so. And I want to show one item that I put on here that I used to deal with Brace. So this is a Mistogan staff. It sleeps all enemies for 2 turns, and because this sleeps all enemies for 2 turns, I think this get rid of all the grace stacks on the enemies, regardless if they resist or not. So grace applies before status ailment resistance. So I think this will effectively get rid of all the grace stack in one cast. So I put that on here, and then first slot Mistogan too. So I have double up on that, and then have to go a little bit quickly here. And then my Managarm, I do a Silk Back Hat, so to get the skill gauge up ASAP, plus Feint. So let's see how this goes. So this player have both M Sword and the new Alkiro. Let's see what happens. Okay, so my front tube is major CC'd. Okay, my C Sword is coming out. Yeah, okay, looks like my Limworm's not able to hold. All right, so I think I lose this one pretty quickly. I didn't look very carefully, but I think his Elk almost instant cast. So in that case, that strips my status ailment resistant down. Plus he have Moonsword, which is another hero that bypassed CC resist. Okay, let's try again. So I mean, if I look at this tier, it's not too much special. You got 3 humans, you got a dwarf, and you got a beast. So for people who miss like Moonfire Sword, Elk is probably a decent hero to pick up. Let's see how I do in round 2. Okay, my Old managed to get out, and then she can cast. And if I can boon my opener, so Lindworm has a 70% status ailment opener, so if I can boon that a bit and kind of negate part of the status ailment resistance down, and if I can RNG, so I have like 20% chance of resisting CC, and for him, I strip his 3 mages too with my Moonfire Sword. So what I'm really hoping for is able to CC him from the get-go and kind of lock him down. So if I'm able to lock him down, and I think I can win this. Okay, so I do pick up the match 2 here. Okay, I think I might need more stam if I want to spam some more teams. So yep. So Moonfire Sword definitely makes a big difference here. And I did try other variations. Let me pick up some more stam. Okay. I need to do hero quest. What the? Let me do a random hero quest so I can finish my dailies. Don't want to do more than I need. And then I think that's it. Okay. Ooh, awesome. All right, back to arena. Let's see. Okay, let's do one more try on this guy. So it's 1-1 so far. Let's see if I pick who wins the third round. And I don't really agree with his Wiccan Kararu in this matchup. I think he can probably use something else that's much stronger. Um, I think I seen his the elk skill start, but then I think I was able to CC him right away. So he might not have finished that casting. So this player kind of went Melv. Melv is a pretty decent choice right now in the current meta. In my tier list, I did bump her up to S tier because um, there seems to be quite a lot of heroes that targets airborne, and especially Elk. Strips CC on highest 3 magic attack and Holy Chain to all airborne. So that's pretty good. And for my team, I'm running 4 airbornes, right? So all right, I think I'm able to lock him down here, and I can't really tell if the shield's up. But it's kind of nice that you do need some damage dealers for Elk. He have a really strong kit, but I see him more as a support. So if you pair him up with say Moonfire Sword that does a shit ton of damage, um, I can see that working out. So yeah, just because you CC, you still have to do a lot of damage to finish off these heroes. Otherwise, they might come back um, and turn the tide around. Yeah, okay, let's try Ko next. So Ko's running Alfana tank, Sort, which have a Stone Skin opener, good choice. Osart standard, Elk, pretty nice. I don't know what the last hero is, but let's find out. Okay, Melf, good choice. But I would probably I'll probably say instead of Melv, maybe he should have picked Managarm, because one way I thought about dealing with uh, these teams is uh, well, I'll have to fit somewhere, and you have to give something up. What will you give up? So some teams give up Lindworm as a tank and use like a mage tank. So they give up an opener 70% status resist. And some teams they take off Managarm, like this team, and I don't know, maybe he doesn't have it, but if he does and he's neglecting to use it, that means you lose the skill gauge down resistance, and skill gauge down resistance is another way I can deal with Elk, depending on his positioning. So I don't particularly want to run a gear that only skill gauge down. It should do more than just one thing. So two gear choices that I thought about is N2 missile. So N2 missile, let me see if I can find it. Okay, where is it? N2 missile, right here. So front 3 enemies, 5 damage, skill gauge down 30%, which is big. Fear and corrupt. So fear. So let's say your enemy have skill gauge down resist, but that's only for 10 turns. But with boon, maybe that'll turn into 15 turns. So this is kind of moot. But if they don't have boon, then if they do have boon, then you can at least get fear on this N2 missile and deal some damage with corrupt, rather than doing nothing at all. So I mean, if I were to choose to abuse the skill gauge down, then I'll probably find some equipment that does that. So Moonlight Firefly Staff is a good skill gauge down, but it's only for the back two and 16% only for skill 4. I do have 4 copies of this, and this is from the anniversary, so I could reforge 1 to 5 star, or I can do 2 to 5 star. I don't know yet, so I'll probably keep it like this for now. But these are two gears that I know of. There's also one more gear, but that I don't have, that petrifies back 3 and skill gauge down 30%. Both of which I don't that I don't have that. So if you do have it, it's worth considering. All right, let's finish up our matches with Ko, so you can kind of see my win rate here. So day one, I actually ran against this team with the same default team without changing any equip, and I had like a 0% win rate. And it took me like 5 matches before I won one match against this exact team. So so I feel like the sleep staff helps a lot here, especially when you bundle that uh, with the Dragon Charm staff that give you Shadow Clone. And probably another thing to consider here is a lot of teams are also not using Seraph, which give you slow resistance. So for Osar, I always put slot one for Kingdom Knot to slow the enemy team. So slow it probably flips the quick into slow, and that's one way I thought about dealing with these teams too. So against like any new hero, you always have to see like where does it fit in and what does the new team look like, and then you have to think about how to deal with it. And so for me, I of course use the strongest hero that you can on defense, and Holy Knight Sortitia. So her skill hits three lowest enemies, lowest light resistance, and it also includes beasts. But the problem with this is Elk actually have a pretty high light resistance. So yeah, that's my biggest hang. So I'm just trying to think in his lineup, do I hit him at all? So this is highlight. This is a 110, and then what was this again? Oh, the dwarf. Yeah, yeah. Well, I can't see it here, so yeah. So this is definitely lowest light. This is 60 light, so I hit her for sure, her for sure, and then maybe him. So yeah, it really depends on what heroes that you have, and too bad I don't have. Um, let me see. Yeah, I don't know what the resist of the dwarf is, but this is both high light defense, and this is awaken. So these three have highlight. So one, two, and three, it'll hit. So yeah, it will be good for my Christmas sword to hit. Yeah, and I might switch out Christmas sword down the road, but for now, yeah, Status Ailment 60% up, HP boon, and then have a little bit of skill gauge down. So if the enemy team doesn't have skill gauge down resist, then I can really abuse that and lock them down there. Okay, but other than that, she's not that too special. In my team, I can probably find a replacement for Managarm, and probably the biggest reason I'm using Managarm right now is for the quick. So quick to whole team, master the whole team, and he's range and beast. So beast right now doesn't really have too much units CCing him, which is great. But if I were to replace him, I would probably choose something like a dwarf or a beast also. I don't think I want to go Jotun, because there's a lot of CC against Jotuns unfortunately, and you have to be pretty amazing for him to kind of fit in. All right, I don't know what's happening, but I was struggling against these out teams. Oh, I saw the arm of salvation, but I only saw the attack, so it means that he's starting to cast, but then I interrupted it with some kind of CC, and I think that's a purely luck. So if he can snowball with that arm of salvation, I can see it going the other way around too. And really nice that Moonsword is able to close that battle out. And I do notice my Moonfire sword flinching out after it does the first hit, and I don't know what changed. So maybe this is like a team. Um, I don't want to say a scam, but I know of some heroes where when they first release, they're really strong because of their skills, but after a while they start flinching, meaning they do a hit and they get staggered, so they don't finish the entire skill. But I guess in Moonfire Sword's case, the only time it deals damage would be this part, and if it does do damage, then it will at least apply all this ailment before, and just missing out on the heavy damage up front versus some heroes where it does these damage first and it finishes on the first hit, then you miss out on the CC. So just some observations there. Obly from my guild is not using. Wait, why is he up already? Is it already 10 minutes? Okay, I'll watch show one more team before I end here, which is Falcon. I haven't seen this guy up in the upper rankings, But he did move up here to top five, and I would say like his scaring is nothing special. So this really comes to show, in my group at least, how strong this Elk hero is carrying a team. So Vortex Revolvers is just corrupt exhaust. It doesn't do anything special. Divine Coat, confused, nothing too special. And you have Glacial Staff, which is freeze to back, nothing special. If you look at his other gearing, you know, Blood Moon Staff, Dire Pit Chain. I mean, these are the. Oh, yeah, this is the gear that I was mentioning earlier. So if you were to use skill gauge down, it should have multiple functions. So this petrifies back three enemies, which is really nice. A lot of FP, a lot of defense too, but this is from collaboration, so if you don't have it, I don't think you have it. You can get it anymore. So yeah, that. So other than that, I think these are pretty standard, not like amazing whale gear by any means. So let's give that a shot. And I did try instead of Lindworm putting Alfana tank, but it's not as consistent as Lindworm. And I think really okay, he's using Armor Salvation right from the get-go, so that's what I'm talking about. And you can see all three of my mages being CC'd like ASAP. And I don't think he had Moonfire Sword either, so all of my status ailment resistant down and his control right now is all due to Elk. Yep, even with my Moonfire Sword, so I think I need something to support my mages. Okay, so I do lose this one. And if you do have Elk, this beast, I would recommend running similarly to this guy. I think everyone's kind of running the same thing, like maximum skill gauge. Make sure that he skills ASAP, and you're allowed to snowball like this. You see how I was able to beat the other teams. I think partially it's because they don't have max skill gauge, and this guy probably does. Part of it is RNG too, because I do have Moonfire Sword to equalize the battle a little bit, at least in the first 5 turns. So if I have something um, that stops him early on, then I can probably use some damage. Okay, I don't think his Elk. Oh, okay, now his Elk skilled. So once he's skilled, I can see the Holy Chain on my mages. And my Lindworm does give me 70%. So even if he skill gauge down 60%, I do have a 10% chance of resisting. And so that gives me a little bit of fighting chance, not a whole lot. So a little bit. So I don't know what A team is kind of planning here to be the next power creep, but this current he's using armor salvation again. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I can't really take that many hits um of that. So if he's able to keep scaling and slowing my heroes down with that holy chain and despair, I it's really difficult to win. So I think the way I might have to do here is instead of Doggo, I might have to use Melv. And Melv, since he's running 5 airborns, I can CC all 5. And that probably will allow my mages to get a little bit of breathing room. So right now, I think Lindworm is kind of useless in CCing airborne mages. So, but then I don't really have anything else that have higher CC element resistant. So I think I do need to run him. Um, as for the back, I do like Doggo because he quicks. So if I were to replace him, I need something that either have slow resistance or something that quicks and do a lot of CC. So Doggo doesn't really CC, which is a little bit unfortunate. But I did give him both the end, Volcanic Witch Hat, and Black Feather Blade. So I was hoping that it does something here. Let's try again. Third match. Oh, Armor of Salvation right from the start. That's really fast. So even though I have first slot sleep staff, that didn't seem to apply. Okay, my Caesar was able to scale. Um, Moonfires are almost skilled, and my Moonfire sword is taking massive damage. That's A little bit unfortunate. Okay, so I lost all three matches. Wow. And yeah, this is not. I wouldn't consider this a whale team at all. Like, you probably could pull enough to go frame this guy, and then frames for the other heroes aren't max either. So yeah, this is a perfect example of how Al can just carry a whole team, if you build around him. Like you run skill gauge up, make sure he just keeps skilling, and you win. And right now, I don't see any counterplay if you don't have him, if you allow him to scale. So yeah, to deal with him, I would probably say I need something like N2 missiles to skill gauge down the front three. But he could easily fix that by replacing Doggo on the back here. Yeah, I mean, that's it. If that didn't convince you that you should do at least two pull on the banner, then I don't know what will. As for the other two heroes, Rad and Burry, they're um, they're pretty strong too in the PvE aspect. So I do see a community rating these three heroes as uh, top tier, S tier for cadets. So, yeah, pretty nice banner, I would say, if you go all the way to the 100% box, but that's mostly for whales, not for free-to-play players like us. Um, I stopped at two steps. I'm thinking about doing more. I do have more diamonds I can collect. I don't know if I'll reach the 100% box though. I do have 15 more days or 14 more days to collect that arena diamonds, so I should get pretty close. I do have a lot. I didn't claim my diamonds from my present box yet, so but if I were to go for this, I would probably go for all the way to the box. No, I get a ton of potions along the way, and maybe get some emblems, which you do need for your heroes for progression purposes. So yeah, I probably need to think about how to deal with um, these teams going forward because more and more people will have them. Okay, with that, I think that's the end of the showcase. Good luck on your pulls. See you guys next time. Bye.